I want to show us the 7 stages to a perfect close. Okay? So many realtors struggle to close sales, not because they don't get prospects, they don't have people that are interested in the products and the properties they are selling, but because they don't understand that there is a gap between getting a prospect and closing a deal. And the only way to bridge that gap or close that gap that exists between getting a client who is interested in your product and closing the deal is what we call follow-up. So I want us to look at effective follow-up strategy. And the truth is that the moment you understand how to follow up effectively, you will begin to increase your rate of conversion massively. And this will help you to close more sales. So before we go into the 7 stages to a perfect close, I want us to look at something I call the 4 types of prospects. All right. Normally, we have been taught the 3 types of prospects, but having done this business for a while, I discovered that we actually don't have 3 types of prospects. We have 4. And if you look at this circle here, you will see this is actually like a clock. All right. And then the goal here is to make sure that those prospects move from the beginning of this round till where you close this deal. This is where we want to be. This is hot prospects. Those prospects that are very interested, they have the money, they are ready, and they are eager to close deals and buy properties from you. Okay? But the first type of prospect we have is the ignorant prospects. All right? The ignorant prospects are those prospects that doesn't know that your product is in the market. They don't know that your product exists. Some of them know that your product exists, but they don't know that maybe there is a promo or there is a special feature or there is whatever it is that is going on that is supposed to have made them purchase that property at that time. So at this point, they are ignorant. They don't know what is going on. They don't know about the promo, they don't know about the amazing product, they don't know about the offer that is currently running. All right? And your work is to move people from this place of being ignorant to this place. That is the second type of prospect, which is the cold prospect. They know about it, but they are not interested. For one reason or the other, they are not interested or they are not ready. And then the third one are the warm prospect. These ones are ready, but they need a little more push before they can close or they can purchase your product. And then the last or the 4th type of prospect are the hot one. These ones are the ones that are ready, they have the resources, and they are willing to close deal and buy your property now. All right. So your work here is to move people from ignorant to cold, to warm, and to hot, which is where you close the deal. Okay, so now how do you do that? I have discovered that there are 7 stages you go through when you want to close a perfect deal. That if you use it, you will begin to close deals with ease. All right, the first step is the opportunity presentation. The moment you get a prospect, the first thing you need to do is to present the opportunity to the prospect. Hey, look at what is going on in my company. My company is doing this promo, is doing that promo, is developing this estate, is developing this type of product, and all of that. That is the first thing you do, opportunity presentation. At that point, your primary assignment is 2 things. Number 1, to get the person hungry for what you sell. And then number 2 is to get the person's commitment for an exposure. They get the person's commitment for an exposure to either go to see the product or whatever is your first exposure. That is the second. The second is where you get the first exposure commitment. Now, the moment you start the first step, which is opportunity presentation, you need to understand that you are not supposed or permitted to leave that environment until you get this second level achieved, which is to get the person to make his first commitment to gain exposure or to be exposed to what you have to offer. What does this mean? I am doing this presentation and I'm telling you about the property we are selling now. But beyond telling you about the property we are selling now, I want you to commit that you want to see this property I am talking about. At least, maybe you want to see not the property itself, but something that will explain or show you the property I am telling you about. That's what you get here. The moment you get this commitment, the next thing you do is you get to the third point, which is, or the third step, which is the actual exposure. Here, you need to find a way to expose this client or this prospect to your property through either video or document or whatever it is that you have that will serve as the first exposure. Now, many people make a mistake at this level. They go around sharing videos, sharing documents, and all of that. And they think that by sending document or sending the video to someone, the moment you watch it, you will get interested. No, it doesn't work like that. Many times you will even send those videos, all right, or those exposure to those people, and they will end up not checking it out. Because to them, they are not yet interested, or rather, they are not yet very interested in what you are talking about. So what you do is that you get this commitment first. If I send you a video of this estate, will you watch it? Are you assuring me that you are going to watch this video if I send it to you? If the person says yes, you can go a step further to ask, okay, I'm going to send you this video today. When will you watch it? So that I can call you back. The person says, I'll watch it this night. Okay, so if I call you tomorrow morning, you would have watched the video. Yes, beautiful. And then you go ahead and send the video. But you don't send it until you get this first commitment to expose this person to your property. The moment you finish this first exposure at this step 3, the next thing you do is that when the person has finished watching the video or whatever it is, you have to share about the property or the product you are selling. You call the person with the singular purpose to get a commitment for second exposure. For second exposure. And what is this second exposure? That is what we now do at level 5. The second exposure is inspection. That is when you take people to inspection. And let me tell you, we have discovered that more sales are closed because the people, the prospects, were taken to inspection. There is something about what people can see, feel, and touch. So you need to drive every of your prospects to make sure you get them to a point where they go for an inspection of the property. The moment you get them to that point where they go to inspect your property, you have higher chances of closing that sale. So that's what you do as your second exposure. You take them for inspection. And you don't stop at inspection. The moment you finish the inspection, you need to switch into the next stage, which is to show the person the me advantage. What is the me advantage? This is the big idea here. The me advantage is you need to have something that you are telling the person that he will benefit for buying into this opportunity, into this product you are selling to him, because he is buying it from you. You need to find a way to get something that is a me advantage that will make people to prefer to buy that product from you than from any other realtor. You need to have a me advantage. Clear example. Imagine that I meet a prospect and I've presented this estate to the person. I've told the person about the estate. I've done all of this opportunity presentation. I've gotten the first commitment from the person to go and check out the property, video and all of that. And then I've sent the property video and the person has watched it and the person committed himself to go for the second exposure, which is inspection. And I've taken the person to the second exposure, which is in person, and which is inspection. And now I am telling the person, this property I'm telling you about, if you are buying it, you are going to get allocated at the prime location or the prime side of the estate, because I have used my personal relationship with the company that owns this estate to get a special session for my clients, for my premium clients. I met with the MD, I discussed with him, and I told him that I have some special clients that I want them to allocate a particular prime location. And you are one of the prospects I want to take advantage of that area. If you buy this property from me, you are going to be allocated at the choicest part of the estate. That is why I want you to take advantage of this opportunity. The moment you begin to talk like that, you now have something that is a me advantage that will make the person, even if he wants to purchase this property, he wouldn't want to purchase it from any other person but you. All right, so that is the sixth stage. And after showing the me advantage, you should now have a direct way to close the deal, which is when you make the call to action. How do you want to pay for the property? Is it in installment? Is it outright? All right, that is what happened at the seventh stage, which is where you do your proper closure. So these are the 7 steps. You do your opportunity presentation, you get the person's commitment for first exposure, then you do the first exposure, get commitment for second exposure, do the second exposure, which is inspection, show the person the me advantage, and then you close the deal. Now, as a bonus, if you now meet objection in the process of doing this, how do you handle objection? There are 4 simple ways to handle objection. The first way is to listen. You need to listen. Sometimes you meet clients and you are telling them about the opportunity and all of that, they begin to complain. These real estate people, you guys are coming again. The one I bought from this company, so time and so time, they said they were going to allocate me, they have not allocated. The one did this place, they scammed me, they took my money, all of those things. But the moment you meet a complaining client, the complaining client or prospect is only complaining because of 2 things. Number 1, he doesn't believe in real estate or the model of real estate you are trying to market to him. Or number 2, is ignorant. All right. So what you need to do is to listen. Listen to what the person has to say. And as you are listening, ask questions that will make the person know that you are actually interested in what he is talking about, in what he is complaining about. All right. Ask questions like, are you serious? Are you for real? This kind of thing happened and all of that. That's the first thing you need to do. Listen attentively. And then apart from that, the second thing you do is to relate. Find a way to relate with what the person is complaining about. This is a magic. The moment you relate with what people are complaining about, they will begin to feel that both of you are on the same pedestal. That's what happens. And you have gained an advantage that you will use to change that person's perspective or perception towards the product you are selling. So you need to find a way to relate. Find a way to make it look as if you understand, or let the person know that you understand what he's talking about. Maybe you have experienced it, or some of your other clients have experienced it, but you have been able to help them out of it. All right, you need to find a way to relate. Apart from that, tell stories. Tell the person stories of people that you have been able to help. Tell the person your own story. If you have a real estate story, it is time to tell it. If you don't have a real estate story, find a convincing real estate story that you can tell the person. This is what happened at this place and this place, and this is what I did, this is what I did, this is how the person benefited from it, and all of that. Let the story be powerful and catchy. All right, that's the thing you do. And then the 4th thing you do after telling the story is ask the question. If I take you to see this property and I show you all the documents pertaining this property, and then I will get to the point of helping you confirm with the government that this property is legitimate, will you buy it? This is when you ask the questions. These questions will help you to destroy this objection. Because the person's objection might either come from the genuinity of the property, or the person selling it, maybe he's not the reseller. One of those things. But if you can ask that question, whatever the person's objection is, his objection is that he believes the property is a government property, or he believes that the property is not real, the cost of property and all of that. Ask the person questions that will make him to make a commitment. The moment I prove to you that this your objection is not real or does not apply here, are you going to purchase the property? If I take you to the government with the documents of this property, and we check and confirm all of these things, and you confirm that this property is not actually government property, but this company's property, and it is legitimate, and the price you are getting it is the best price, are you going to buy the property? Once you get that person's commitment that you are going to buy the property, you have increased your chances of closing that deal by overcoming the objection. All right, so those are the 4 steps you go when you want to overcome an objection. The first is to listen, the second is to relate, the third is to tell stories, and the fourth is to ask questions. Thank you.